Okay. Hey guys, how are you? Okay, so a little bit of housekeeping before I get into today's video, which is a little bit frightening. So I have my Life with Space Buddies course part 2 coming up 11th of January, I think. And then in February, the beginning of February, I've got Class B and Class D of the Spiritual Counselor Preparation course beginning. I'll put those links in the description of this video and in the comments until I turn the comments off. And then, yeah, so Class B of the Spiritual Counselor Preparation course is for beginners, novices, those who are not that far along their spiritual journey or just beginning. Class D is for your more advanced and those who've been on their spiritual journey for a while. So Class D, you need to have some kind of connection with spirit, able to receive some kind of message or something like that. That's Class D. Class B, you don't need any connection with spirit or haven't developed it yet, okay, because that's what we'll be doing. So it's all good. So the links to those will be in the description of this video below where it says more. Okay, just click on that and that'll be there. So now to the reason I'm doing this video. Let me just move the camera away just a little bit. There we go, that's better. Okay, so I do have permission to share this. Actually, I was asked by the White Hats to share this so everyone can become aware, especially for those wanting to be involved with medbeds, like doing medbed centers and things like that. So, where to begin? Yesterday. I'm still a little shaken about this experience, and I think rightly so. So yesterday, pretty much every day, I go feed my horses at the paddock. So what I do is Mum and I get ready, we go to the paddock, we lock the horses in the cattle yards, we set them up with food and water, and then we go somewhere for an hour and a half, 2 hours while they eat and relax and all of that. And then we go back and we let them out. We do that pretty much every day. Every day is the same. We either go to a shopping centre or we go for a walk in one of the many parks or whatever, for an hour and a half, 2 hours. We don't go too far because we have to drive back and let them out. So yesterday, the day started really, really good. Woke up just like I have this morning, like every morning, get ready, take the dogs for a walk. And this happens several times a month. I heard someone walking behind me, footsteps. I turned around, no one's there. Okay, I know I'm being followed by the White Hats. I know I'm being followed by spirit. It happens several times a month, no biggie. So I ignored it. It's like, yep, okay, thank you very much. My dog even stopped and turned around to see who was there. And she kept stopping and turning around to look who was there, even though there was no one there. It's early Sunday morning, there's no one around. And yes, I did have to walk them early because it was going to be hot. So 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, no one's around Sunday morning in this area. Everyone is night people. They all sleep during the day and and come out at night. They're like vampires. And so I didn't think anything of it. Happens all the time, no problem. Come back. Told Mum, oh yeah, heard those footsteps again, no biggie. And we got ready. Actually, no, I went and rode my horse Sparkles, had a beautiful ride, spent a couple of hours with her, it was fantastic, loved it. Come home, had lunch, and I said to Mum, okay, you ready to go and feed the paddock? And she's like, yep, okay, let's get ready. We got ready and we drove to the paddock. We put the horses in the yards, we fed them, gave them water, and we had already talked about going for a walk in a very beautiful, beautiful park that we do several times a week. And it's a really nice walk. It's about 1.5 kilometers in one direction, then we stop at a certain point, we turn around and we walk back. And my favorite part of the park goes for about 120 to 130 meters, and it is really, it's almost like rainforest, bush on both sides, and it's just so peaceful and vibrant. There's so much life in there. It feels like home. It just, such a beautiful, warm, healing, calming energy. It is my most favorite place of the park. And I go extra slow there, and we stop and we sit on the seats, and you know, I sit on the seat, Mum's in a wheelchair, so I sit on the seat and we have something to eat and drink, and we just take in so many animal sounds, beautiful bird sounds, and it's just the most wonderful feeling, this particular stretch of the walkway, the path. And this path goes, it's not exactly a park. It's a very long path that follows a main river, and there's parks along the way, multiple parks along the way of kids' playgrounds, of ovals and things like that. And we always, you know, feel totally relaxed, revitalized, energized, healed. It's just a beautiful walk. And we went through, you know, we went through absolutely no problem, and we got to the end where we normally stop and turn around and come back. We stopped, we turn around and come back. We stopped at the water fountain several times to fill up our water bottle. It was hot, but it was nice because there's so many trees. Like, the whole path is shaded by trees, thick, beautiful trees. It's just, it's gorgeous. I love it. And on our way back, we got about 10 to 15 meters into this beautiful stretch of almost like rainforest, and I started to get an uneasy feeling. I just, what? And I said to Mum, well, what? Something's wrong. Something is not right. Something's very, very off. And I started to tune in to what was actually going on, and we kept walking. It's like, the more further into this stretch we got, the more uneasy I started to feel. I was like, I got to get out of here. Something's wrong, really, really wrong. And I kept looking to the left of the path, and I had a sense that someone was there. I couldn't exactly pinpoint them at this stage where they were, but I knew someone was hiding in the bush. And as I'm looking to the left, I started then looking to the right, and I could sense that there was somebody also on the right, but further away. So the one on the left was only maybe 8 to 9 meters away, max, hiding in the bush, in the scrub. But in the right, it was like there was someone 50 meters away. And I stopped for a second and I just scanned the scrub on the left. And what I saw chilled me to the bone. It was a military sniper laying on his stomach with a rifle pointed across the other side of the path, where I sensed somebody else was standing over there. And I'm just like, holy shit. What the hell is going on? And I saw the barrel of the gun, everything, coming out of the scrub. And then as I'm like, yeah, I'm not hanging around here. This is, no, got to get out of here. And I kept looking to the left, and then immediately I was looking to the right. I couldn't see anyone on the right, but I knew someone was there. 100% knew they were there. If I had calmed myself down and really tuned in to the one on the right, I would have been able to pinpoint their location. I was too freaked out and terrified by this point. Mum and I, we tried to remain calm and walk calmly out of that area, but my heart was thumping, and I didn't tell Mum what I saw until after we had got past this stretch of bush. And I was just like, far out. I was really, really chilled to the bone. Like, I had seen, I've only ever seen one gun in real life, like that's not on TV or something. And I did work experience in the police force for high school. That was my, you got to go and do a week somewhere of work experience. I wanted to be a mounted police officer, so I did a week in the police force, and I held a gun. Bloody hell, those things are heavy. I didn't realize how heavy a tiny little gun was. It was really heavy. I was 16. It was heavy for me when I was 16. And I thought they would be a lot lighter than that, but they're not. Anyway, back to present day. And once we got past that point, I explained to Mum what I saw, what I felt, and she was just in disbelief. And so we got back to the car and we went back to the horses to let them out. And as I was opening the gate, all of a sudden the radio turned on and went so loud, like the loudest you could possibly have the car radio. And I'm like, what did Mum do? Mum must have pressed the wrong button, or a finger slipped or something as she was adjusting the radio. I got back in the car and I said, what happened? Your finger slipped or something? She said, I didn't touch it. I didn't touch anything. It just went on by itself. That's when I got shivers down my spine, because I was still in panic mode at this point, like in total shock. I had just seen a sniper, like literally a few meters from me. And now the car radio is really acting up. I didn't know if it was the good guys sending a message or if it was the bad guys sending a message. I had no idea. So my mind just went, I'm just like, what is going on? And it freaked me out. All afternoon, I was just freaked out. Like, I know that there has been at least 5 genuine attempts on my life. But when you don't really know they're happening, it's like, yeah, did it really happen though? It's one thing to be told, it's another thing to actually see a sniper right beside you. It makes it all the more real. And, pardon me, and all night I couldn't stop thinking about it. It's like, what the hell? Anyway, I had a bit of a conference this morning with the Galactic Council, and they said, this is exactly what they said. When you started talking about medbeds, you didn't have much of a following. Not many people knew about it, so you were just more like a nuisance. The scammers came on about 6 weeks after, and it was just your general criminals just wanting to make a few dollars. About a year after I first came out with medbeds, that's when a 3-letter agency, which we know, made it their business to discredit me by taking the scamming to a whole new level. Discredit, if we can prove that Skye Prince is a scammer, then that will discredit not only her, but also the medbeds, and then people won't believe it, and sure enough, she'll go away. When I didn't go away, that's when they started making legitimate threats on my life. That's when they were tapping my phones, recording my conversations, using the brainwave technology to listen into my thoughts and try and put thoughts into my mind as well. Everything. That's when they started tailing me in person, not just observing from a distance, but this is when they really started making threats on my life. And yesterday's encounter was what they call a lurker, somebody who is sent to observe, not to act, but to observe. And by them hiding in the bush on the right was them telling me, yeah, we've got you, watch your back. They got wind of a lurker being sent, the white hats did, and they sent a countermeasure, which was a special forces sniper. Now, the sniper was sent, 1, to protect, and 2, to warn. Yeah, we know you're there. Nothing you do will work, will succeed. We will have you before you make any kind of move. So it was like a counter attack. Now, both these people were using cloaking technology, which the military has. They will deny it. They have it. They've had it for years. They use it in warfare and all of that. They have it. Now, the problem with cloaking technology that they have is that if you are able to see into multi dimensions, meaning, I think I just got a spider web go across my face. If you are able to tune into multiple dimensions, the cloaking technology doesn't work. Okay. So for someone who can tune into multi-dimensions, the more you tune into it, so your senses will pick up something first, and then if you can tune into what your senses are picking up, really tune into it, the cloaking technology fades away. So nobody else can see what you're seeing because you're looking through the different dimensions past the cloaking technology, which thankfully for me, I'm able to do. Although after yesterday seeing the barrel of a sniper's rifle, I'm not too sure I want to. Just, yeah. Okay then. So, yes, that is exactly what happened yesterday. So I was able to tune in through my fear, and I think my fear heightened my ability to tune in, because when you are in fear, your psychic ability actually enhances, which is what MK Ultra is perfect for when it comes to bringing out psychic ability. And that's why the old SSP used to use MK Ultra and torture methods on psychics to bring out their psychic ability, because it works. As horrible as it is, it actually does work. So thankfully I was able to tune in and see that I was protected, but walking past a military special forces sniper that was only a few meters away from you, pointing the barrel of their gun, as you're walking past, you go straight in front of it, pointing it to the other side where you know that there's somebody else standing there or moving around there. Yep. Okay then. Rightio. Now, everything else went absolutely fine for the rest of the day. I wanted to do a meditation last night, but I felt not to, because my fear would lead the information. In other words, I would create the information or lead it and create it something that was fear-based. So I slept on it, or tried to sleep on it. Didn't really work. Anyway, I did a meditation this morning and connected with the Galactic Council. So I had a bit of a conference with them, and they said that you have galactic protection, secret space program protection, and ground force alliance protection. So when there's something physical happening on the ground, it is the ground forces that jump into action. When it's something astrally, which I have been attacked astrally or attempted attacked, that is the galactics, and most other times it is secret space program. Now, with if something were to happen, that would be the galactic's job to neutralize it immediately, like without question. It'll take less than a second for them to neutralize the situation. So I'm very, very well protected. Now, they did ask me to share this with you today. For people who want to do or want to be involved with medbeds, okay, that's not to be treated, that's actually medbed centers and work in medbed centers. The bad guys, or the dark ones, I just call them the dark ones. The dark ones, what we must understand is when medbeds are available to the public, all pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, doctors, nurses, all of that, medical centers, pharmacies, you name it, will be on a very quickly downward spiral into non-existent. There is so much money worldwide in the pharmaceuticals. They don't want medbeds to come to the public. That is their worst fear. The government's worst fear. It is the dark one's worst fear. When they lose the pharmaceuticals, they lose power and control completely, 100% gone. They will do anything to stop this. And if you want to have any kind of involvement in the medbeds, besides being treated, you need to understand that this is very real. It is very, very real, which is why the military will be controlling the medbeds and medbed centers for quite some time before humanitarians are allowed to take over, because they need the military protection for to keep the beds safe, to keep staff and centers and patients safe. Okay, so this is a very real situation. This is not just, oh yeah, pharmaceuticals and hospitals will disappear in a year or two, it's all good. Yeah, they will, but they're not going to go down without a fight. Remember, your husband, your wife, your daughter, your son, healthcare professionals, most of them are about to lose their jobs. These major hospitals, they will all go bust. All of them. Eventually, it's not going to be overnight. Eventually. They don't want to lose their money. They don't want to lose their wealth. They make billions and trillions of dollars every year worldwide. Hundreds of trillions of dollars worldwide. They're not going to want to lose that. So they will do everything they can to stop it. I also asked them, because several people have asked me, well, why haven't they moved you yet? And I've been wondering this for a long time, and I've been expecting like a knock on the door for about 2 years on my door here saying, you got to go and you got to go now. I've been expecting that, and it's never happened. And I asked them this morning, why? Why are we still here in the open? And they said, because the moment we remove you is the moment they have won. We want you out there in front of the world. And I don't want to say this, but it is very similar. Trump being shot at, yet he's still public. The moment you go into hiding or into a safe space, so to speak, is the moment they have won. So by us protecting you while you're public is showing a sign of strength that we will not back down. We will not surrender. We will not allow you to win this battle. This is happening with or without you. So by keeping me public, it is sending a message to the bad guys that we will continue regardless of what you do, and we will take you out in the meantime. I also asked them if anything did happen between the sniper and the lurker when we got out of that area, and they said no. It was purely a show of strength and power from both sides. That's what the whole idea was. For the lurker to scare me and to show the white hats, yeah, we're here, and the sniper was to protect and to show the black hats, yeah, we're here. So I was about 90% safe yesterday, and I'm not going to change my route or not walk in the park. One, because I need that full-on nature experience for my own healing, and two, because they're everywhere anyway. And the guy at the shopping mall on Christmas Eve, I'm positive that he was either a black hat or a white hat. He was someone. It just, and several times a month while I'm walking either to the shop or walking the dogs, I will hear footsteps behind me. I turn around and no one's there. So it doesn't matter if I walk through this particular park or if I'm just sitting down by the river while my horses are eating, or if I'm in a shopping centre. It doesn't matter. They're there. They're always going to be there. Even if I drove 10 hours away, I'm always followed by good guys and bad guys. So there's no point changing my routine because they're going to be there anyway, no matter where I go or what I do. It just brings, I know for several years that I've had white hat protection. I know this. I know, and galactic SSP protection. I know that. But to actually witness it firsthand and see it, that's a lot different. Especially seeing a sniper's rifle sticking out from the scrub. That was enough to get my heart going 1 trillion miles an hour, which I should have had a heart attack from. Thankfully I didn't. But that's the kind of thing, like, it brings it all home and says, yeah, this is real. Because for so long I've just felt, yeah, okay, there's been several attempts in my life, I'm protected. And you don't think anything else of it because you're not actually experiencing it. But when you experience it, yeah, there it is. Yep, now it's all real. So we need to remember, if you want to have anything to do with medbeds, the danger is real. It really is there. And I'm not trying to put you off, I'm just giving you the facts. The danger is there. It is so important that when the RV notifications are released, you get off social media. You get off and you stay off as much as you possibly can. I'm definitely 100% now deleting all my social media. It's just no way will I go back on social media. And with the Q phones, you cannot be tracked. They cannot be hacked. Same with the Q laptops. So my personal safety and security will be number one priority, 100% number one priority. Even to the point where I'm not going to take my horses out anywhere next year or after the redemption appointments. It's just not worth the risk. It really isn't. And the danger doesn't end when the notifications come. The danger really begins when the notifications arrive. If you receive humanitarian funding, then you may potentially be a target, particularly if you want to do medbed centres, because this is the dark ones trying to keep medbeds away and keep them suppressed and hidden so that they continue to keep control and making trillions and trillions of dollars. Eventually they'll disappear, eventually, but immediately, that's when all security needs to be beefed up. So attending parties and get-togethers and doing conference calls and things like that for the first few months is a no-no, an absolute no-no, especially if you want something to do with medbeds. Now, I'm not talking about doing marine, cleaning up oceans or planting forests. I'm not talking about that. That's not a problem. If that's what your projects are, go ahead. Community centres, orphanages, all kinds of different things. Go ahead, no problem. Talk about it, scream it from the rooftops. The dark ones don't care about that. They care about the pharmaceutical industries because that's where all their money comes from. Okay. So I'm not trying to frighten you or scare you, but what I experienced yesterday is very real and frightening for me. Okay, so you guys are lucky. Your face is not plastered all over the internet about this. Mine is. It's very real. The threat and danger is very, very real, unfortunately. So I want to thank the White Hats, the Galactic Council, Space Force, and the ground crews for protecting me and taking bloody good care of me. I didn't realize just how much you guys protect me until I saw a barrel of a sniper's rifle meters away from me. I still can't get my head around it. It's just insane, absolutely insane. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And if you are listening to this, yes, I would like to move away from this motel as quickly as possible. I would definitely feel safer away from this motel as quickly as possible, away from public areas, which my whole life is a public area, both in person and online. So if you're listening, yes, I really would like to move from here very, very quickly, especially after yesterday. Okay, so thank you guys. Remember, I'm not trying to frighten you or anything like that, but you do need to be aware of the very real dangers of having an involvement in medbeds, which is why they are so secret. And everyone involved at the moment is under very strict, heavy NDAs. Okay, so be very aware. Okay, protect yourselves, protect your family. I did ask if any threats had been made against my pets and my horses, and they said no, not yet, but they will also have protection. Okay, the same level of protection. So I'm very grateful. So thank you. And please allow us to move out of here quickly. Like today would be nice. Thank you. All right, everyone, take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Oh, and today's date is the 30th of December. Okay, remember I'm in Sydney, Australia, so it is already the 30th. 30th? Monday, I think. Yeah, Monday, 30th. I'm sure. Anyway, take care, everyone. Bye for now.